Hello, friends, and welcome to the PrepWell podcast. I'm your host, Phil Black. And if you have an 8th, 9th, or 10th grader with big aspirations, like the Ivy League, or military service academies like West Point, ROTC, or athletic scholarships, boom, you've come to the right place. My specialty, my superpower, if you will, is preparing families for these competitive programs. I'll teach you what your child should do, when they should do it, and how you can help. So stick around and prepare to out-prepare. Hello, friends, and welcome back to the PrepWell podcast. Over the last 10 years, after studying and implementing detailed college admission strategies for students, including 3 out of 4 of my own sons so far, I've had a handful of aha moments. And today I'm going to discuss an aha moment that ranks in the top 3 of all time. These insights reveal themselves after working with students and parents and spending a lot of time studying and reflecting on and looking for what I might call mechanical advantages in the college admissions process, or leverage points. These are areas of high concentration that will give you a lot of bang for your buck. Because we all have only so much time in our days, so why spin our wheels on things that don't ultimately matter? Let me give you an example. If you, as a parent, can figure out a way to help your child develop a love of reading from a young age, you will have unlocked a habit with incredible downstream multiplier effects. Creating a love of reading in your child is such a highly leveraged outcome and so difficult to replicate in any other way that it should be pursued at almost all costs. This is an example of one of my top 3 all-time aha moments. Today's aha moment, which I would rank as number 2 probably, is all about timing and understanding when your child will either get it or not get it. The it meaning the importance of paying attention to the college admissions process. And it all revolves around their sophomore year. And I consider this an important insight because in my experience, most parents don't pay a lot of attention to their child's sophomore year. Well, what do I mean by that? What I mean is that many parents get pretty revved up about freshman year because everything is new and exciting, and they want to make sure that Johnny and Amanda get off to a good start. But once Johnny and Amanda settle into high school and they begin to be more self-sufficient and they survive freshman year, it's pretty easy for parents to take their foot off the gas during sophomore year, especially when they hear the horror stories about junior year. They want to stay as far away from junior year as humanly possible. So they're happy to tread water in sophomore year. In fact, most parents love sophomore year. The anxiety of freshman year is over, and the intensity of junior year is still, thankfully, a year away. They find something oddly serene about sophomore year. Nothing really seems to be going on all that much. There are no scary SAT or ACT tests. There aren't too many AP exams. And adopting this mindset, in my opinion, even unknowingly, is where parents sometimes go wrong. Because a lot should be happening during sophomore year. Sophomore year is when a student really starts to figure out and decide whether or not they want to go for it. Do they want to step it up and be somebody, do something special, or just blend in and be like everybody else? Freshman year might be a little bit early to have that type of confidence and self-awareness, and junior year, by most accounts, is too late. By then, the die is cast. Sophomore year is when this decision needs to be made. This is one of the many reasons why students must enroll in PrepWell Academy by freshman or sophomore year. Otherwise, it's too tempting to wait until junior year when it's too late. So what is it about sophomore year that makes it so pivotal? As a sophomore, you now have the ability to take an active role in a school club. Clubs that you may eventually want to take a leadership role in. For example, student government, mock trial, debate club, robotics club, whatever it might be. If you wait until junior year to get involved, There will be others in the front of the line, others who will take all the prime leadership positions because they've put in their time. Sophomore year is the time to lay that groundwork. As a sophomore, you have to start deciding what to focus on and what to leave behind, and all of the sunk costs that may attend to that decision. You can't do everything. This can be very difficult for some students and families. If you've been playing soccer since you were 4 years old, and you're on an elite club team, and you've been an all-star your whole life, and you've spent 75% of weekends at soccer tournaments, and being a soccer player is a big part of your identity, but you now realize that you're probably not good enough to play at a high level in college, and you want to be a doctor. It might behoove you to drop soccer and become the president of the Future Doctors of America Club, for example. This is a decision that students and families agonize over because there is so much sunk cost and emotion wrapped around being that soccer player. But this needs to happen in sophomore year. Otherwise, you fall prey to throwing good money after bad money by continuing with soccer and missing a lot of opportunities that might actually help you in the college admissions process and beyond. As a sophomore, you have to decide what type of academic performer you want to be. Did you opt for the more challenging AP classes that will put you in position to be competitive at the more selective colleges? Or did you settle for the easier classes? Or were you somewhere in the middle? In most cases, the classes you take sophomore year will impact what you can take for junior and senior year. These are consequential decisions. As a sophomore, you're building your repertoire of study habits and skills and routines. If you don't lock these down in sophomore year, there's a good chance you'll get steamrolled in junior year. If you aren't creating a daily to-do list, if you're still procrastinating and waiting until the last minute to turn in assignments, if you aren't managing your own calendar, you will get flattened by junior year. Those habits need to start now. As a sophomore who wants to play sports in college, be it Division I, Division II, or Division III, and maybe get a scholarship, or use your athletic skills to get into a Division III school that you wouldn't otherwise get into, now is the time to make this happen. Now is the time to get in peak shape. Now is the time to reach out to coaches, to send highlight videos, to get your best time, to prepare for the summer. You have to figure out if you have what it takes to play at the next level now. I know this is intimidating, but this will not magically happen just because you become a junior. You have to actively manage this process to see if you have a chance. If you have a chance and you're getting good feedback from college coaches and your high school coach or your club coach and everybody's on board, great. Double down, go for it, keep going. If you're getting nowhere, however, and you can't even summon the motivation to make a highlight video or research colleges or draft an email, then you may as well shut it down and move your focus elsewhere because it's not going to happen. As a sophomore who wants to go to a service academy like West Point or earn an ROTC scholarship, you have to start building your credentials in earnest now. You can't wait until junior year. Junior year is when the application opens. As a sophomore, you need to actively build that resume that is teeming with academics, athletics, leadership, and service. And to do this right, you will be very busy in freshman and sophomore year, let alone junior year. As a sophomore, you typically will turn 16 years old, which in most states allows you to get a job. This represents a big rite of passage that many colleges will give you a lot of credit for. Have you even thought about what type of job you might get? As a sophomore, it's time to solidify your reputation in high school with your guidance counselor, with teachers and coaches. Freshmen are given some slack. They get some leeway and forgiveness if they do dumb stuff. Not so as a sophomore. More is now expected of you. You have a higher profile in school. People know who you are. So you need to build and cultivate relationships because these relationships will become very important 12 months from now when it comes time for letters of recommendation. As a sophomore, you have the opportunity to plan something special over the summer between your sophomore and junior year, arguably the most important summer of all. What will you do with this opportunity? If you wait until summer arrives to start thinking about it, all the best opportunities will be gone. Internships, jobs, travel, showcases, invitationals, whatever it might be. Use your sophomore year to plan an epic summer. Now, I could go on, and I do go on and on about these topics and more inside PrepWell Academy. So if your child is already enrolled and they're a rising sophomore, this is what they have to look forward to. Please listen to this podcast with them. Don't let them slide into sophomore year without letting them know how important this year is. Teach them what leverage is all about. Teach them what mechanical advantage means. Teach them that doing the right things this year will have a positive multiplier effect for the next 2 years and beyond. Teach them that 2 plus 2 equals 9 in this case. They will get a lot of bang for the buck this year if they follow the plan. That's all I've got for you today, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your continued support. If you know a parent with an 8th grader, 9th grader, 10th grader, particularly a 10th grader in this case, that might find this helpful, please share this episode with them. You can do that by finding that small box with the tiny arrow pointing up. That's the share button. Click that button, text your friends the link to this episode, put a little note in there from you recommending that they give it a listen. If you have questions, comments, or an idea for an upcoming episode, please reach out to me by email, DM me on Instagram, check out our blog, Facebook, connect with me on LinkedIn. I would love to hear from you. Until next week, goodbye, good luck, and never stop preparing. This podcast is brought to you by PrepWell Academy. PrepWell Academy is my one-of-a-kind online mentoring program that delivers to your 9th or 10th grader a short, highly relevant video from me every week, every Sunday in fact, where I give them a heads up about what they should be thinking about to stay ahead of the game. To get these valuable lessons into your child's hands, please head over to PrepWellAcademy.com and enroll your child today.